Is this the same one that you've been doing, show before the show?
Yep, Minimal House.
Yeah.
We do. I thought we do different ones every day.
Well, it's Minimal House. It's like its own radio station, and it plays different songs. I don't know if they update them.
I like it. So I didn't get a notification. Oh yeah, I did just now.
Can you hear that, Megan?
I can.
So you have to turn your phone off.
Oh no, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, we have.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear that. It usually, yeah. Okay, there we go. Hey Joe, does this pillow look ridiculous in the shot?
Well, we have one that you can sit on. That's the same color.
Yeah, maybe I'll
Yeah,
do
she's
that.
got it behind her.
Yeah, I have this one.
No, we have another one.
Yeah,
there's
I'm
not
thinking
just
I'll
one.
just
Well, yeah.
She could. I mean, there's
Yeah.
multiple of those kind.
Okay.
We are on, right?
What do you?
Yes, we are.
We are, and I see now.
I mean, that's really your comfort, but yeah, it
Well, no, I
definitely
mean,
shows.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna switch it.
Okay.
All right, let me see here.
I can bring it.
You sure?
Welcome to the show before the show, everybody. You know what we do. Get things together. Get started here about 8 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's good.
How's that?
Yeah, I like that. That's good
All
stuff.
right. Let me
It looks
see.
so much better than the other one. We're kind of janky with some things, but if we can make it look less
Well,
janky,
no,
everybody
I mean,
wins.
you know, it's just me. I'm one of those. I like to. If I'm gonna sit for 2 hours, I need to be straight.
It's hard to get out of my chair after 2 hours, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Good
Yeah.
morning, everybody. La la. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Karen. Like, subscribe, share the show. Let everybody know what we're doing. I was listening to Kelly Mano's show last night. She was talking about getting high, Joe.
Bless
Yeah,
you.
that was a funny one.
Well, did she say when she was getting high? Was that recent with the new boyfriend or a long time ago?
It was recent, and it was accidental, I think.
How do you get
it-
accidentally high?
Well, I think she thought it was CBD. So she took a little bit of this chocolate or whatever.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that Friday.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I won't give it away.
And she was with her new beau.
No.
Oh,
but
okay.
she did message him with a video, and she played the video on her show last night.
Oh.
But some of it was censored.
Yes,
Okay.
which was the face of her beau.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. Megan, are you going to topics? I gave them to you so late.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
All right, you're a quick
Those
study.
are good.
Lizzie's giving her voice a rest today, by the way,
Mhm.
for everybody. I'll try to be better with comments. Lizzie's the
want me
master at
to?
that.
I can do that. You keep talking, and I'll pay attention to comments.
Yeah, no, I need you. You're good. No. You do whatever we'll do it together.
Okay.
You just do your best. I'll do my best if you can jump in.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll do our best. The show before the show here, everybody. All right, guys, we appreciate you coming in. Canceltheshow.com, 8 to 10 a.m. Just putting some final touches together here.
Oh, there's Lizzie. How you feeling?
We miss you, Lizzie. Do you have an X account?
I do. I
Okay.
need to look something up.
What is your handle?
Oh goodness, I don't know. And it's private too. So let's see. It is Megan at Megan Mark 24.
Do you even use it?
I use X all the time.
MEGHAN.
Oh, Marie. No.
What are
hold
you?
on, it's right here.
Let's see. Megan Mark. What's the 24 for?
That's my number.
Why is it your number?
That was my soccer number my whole life. And
That's really gonna. Okay.
yeah.
I text my Megan I get you guys confused.
Oh.
So I had to give her a new name this morning.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because Megan and Megan, she's Megan, you're Megan.
Yeah.
And it's still difficult you don't realize, maybe you do because you've had this pronunciation with your name spelling your entire life. It is so difficult for somebody who has always looked at that word and said Megan to all of a sudden say Megan.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have a Megan in my life, obviously, girlfriend. She's Megan and she's 23. You're Megan 24.
Oh, that is weird. That is so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I may sound like a big pansy pushover, but I put her in as unicorn this morning.
Oh, I love it. Megan, you are now a unicorn. That is awesome.
Somebody might have suggested that would be a good name.
I'm sure. Well, I think it's a good one.
Yeah, so you're Megan 24, she's Megan 23.
It's so weird.
And you guys spell the name together.
Megan, why are you 23? What's the 23? Okay, so 24 is also my B day, but maybe that's why I picked 24. And then I had my kids when they were little because they all played, sports. And so they all had 24 jerseys up until they were like, yeah, we can't all three of us have the same number.
Oh,
so
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I get it.
But there was one time when all three had a 24 jersey.
That's great. Where's my pen?
She just said soccer number too.
Yep. She was a soccer player.
Megan, this is crazy. What position were you?
What did I do with my pen? Crap.
Don't tell me striker.
Shit.
You need a pen?
No, that's all right.
You sure?
Yeah, we're set. I had it. I'm all out of whack, but it's all good. Striker.
Oh,
You're a striker too?
I just said, don't even tell me that you were a striker. And she's like, striker.
Oh, Joe, taking care of business.
Gosh. That's nuts.
All right, we got it here. Okay. Liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Lizzie, thank you for checking in. We appreciate it so much. Hope everybody's ready to get things going this morning. Yo. I like the house tune today.
Me too.
It's working for me.
I wish I could add it to a favorites list.
Really?
I wish.
Oh, yeah. We're
Wait,
here.
what was I suffer from what? I don't get it. No, wait. Greg, what were you saying? No.
Check,
baby,
baby.
I get it now. I see. Yes, Donna. Lizzie was struggling a little bit yesterday. So
Yeah, she's not sick.
Yeah.
She's just trying to save the voice. Okay, let's see here, boys.
Good morning, Tanya.
Lizzie says she doesn't see us on YouTube. What? Are we not on, Joe?
checking. According to Restream, we are streaming on YouTube. Let me check. Looks good to me.
All right. I like it.
Did you know Lizzie and I were supposed to go to Cardinal Ritter today?
Oh, really?
Yeah, today was the day.
What happened?
We're rescheduling. Well, because
Okay.
she wanted to have a voice when we went and spoke to the students. So we're going to wait and do it on another day.
All right. All right. All right. Just about ready to get going. Okay. Well, no, not yet. Here we go. I said it was lagging, but we're up to speed right now.
Oh, Jay, were you saying that you didn't think that there was going to be a debate? I
I'm
thought that
saying,
too.
and I'm still saying, and if there is a debate, Donald Trump is a very dumb man. Dumb.
I agree.
Dumb, 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 dumb.
I agree.
Dumb, 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 dumb.
Yes.
Are these all my waters? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? All right, people. It is cancelthisshow.com. I think it's about time to get ready to rock and roll. I got that ready to go. What are the... Oh, man. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm lacking today. I just like the tunes. I'm just trying to hold out.
Jay, I kind of thought it was just a bunch of hocus pocus too. Just kind of some things that they were throwing around about having a debate. And then I saw that now, what do they have? 2 scheduled?
Yeah, the first one's June 27th.
Unbelievable.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. I still don't. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
I just.
Tanya says we're still not showing live on Rumble.
Oh, God.
I'm watching Rumble on my phone as we speak.
Okay, so maybe Tanya, get out of there and try to go back in.
From everything that I've seen, everything there might be a lag, but as far as streaming, we came up on everything today.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Dems are desperate.
Let me see here again. Sorry, Joe. I had to check on one thing that I thought I sent you this morning. Oh, no wonder you didn't get it. Yeah, I was just making sure it did that default deal again, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm resending it right now. All right. Now you have it. This is Michael Cohen's former legal advisor, which was huge.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Kimberly. That's so nice of you.
Nothing yet.
It did show that it's coming.
Okay.
Greg, Joe, did you see Greg says your platforms look good?
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for checking.
Good morning, Karen.
Here's the best news of the day as we get the show started. The Princeton anti-Israeli encampment announced that they stopped their hunger strike. They went on a hunger strike. And the reason they went on a hunger strike because they didn't like that Princeton was taking money from companies that help Israel.
Yes.
Well, when asked why they stopped their hunger strike, They said, well, we suffered rapid weight loss.
Unbelievable.
Mental and physical exhaustion.
I mean,
I told you these people are total cowards.
Yeah.
They're cockroaches. They literally are the scum of the earth for bullying innocent people, trying to hurt anybody that does that.
And they can't.
If you're a
handle the keto
bully,
diet.
yeah,
well, that's
you're
for
scum
sure.
of the earth. You're a coward. That's what all these people who are out. Most of these people are out there. They're cowards. They're weak.
They figured out intermittent fasting helps you lose weight.
Yeah.
We suffered rapid weight loss, mental and physical exhaustion,
Oh,
and we also had difficulty moving and even standing. We also had chest pains from not eating.
Oh my
you
God.
got,
You cannot make this stuff up.
you got to take supplements when you do it.
Now, these are the same cowards that said we will never eat again until the university agrees to our demands.
Mm-hmm.
They said the Princeton administration continuously ignored our attempts to communicate, and we were trying to be violent and disruptive and antagonistic, and they just wouldn't listen to us.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Why won't they listen to us?
Oh my God, that is the best part of the day so far.
These are, and it's funny because these are all the same crybabies that come out for everything, whether it's BLM or pandemic type causes. Like they can't help themselves. They just need to come out and
It's unfortunate.
Act like you said, just come out and see how cowardly you can act.
Let's get it on. All right, we'll start the show, buddy. Sorry, I was way behind today. And we say, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust. Am I calling you Megan Marie or Megan Marie Moret?
Yeah. Whatever you want.
Triple M?
Yeah.
You've heard of Triple H,
Yeah.
right?
What would it be?
You're Triple
Not
M.
Yeah. It wouldn't be M squared. It'd be
M
the
try?
third.
M try?
Yeah. Triple
M3?
threat.
What about
Triple
M3?
threat. Right? Triple threat.
M3?
Isn't that
M3 in the house?
M3.
Hey guys, this is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust. And I always get used to just it rolling off my tongue. Vic Faust, Megan Marie. Vic Faust, Megan Marie. Vic Faust, Megan Marie,
Morning.
Projo in the house. Megan's in for Lizzie today. Our dear, lovely Lizzie is resting her voice. She's not sick. She just started to lose it. Right. We started the show yesterday and she was sucking on a cough drop and I heard it. And I'm like, are you all right? And I looked down and was like, oh no, she had 5 cough drops.
Yeah.
If you talk, that's bad. Yeah, Lizzie likes M3 in the house. M3.
Yeah.
M3 and Lizzie.
Triple M.
Triple M. That doesn't roll off my tongue, is it? M3.
M3. Robert, I'm going to check your message too here in a little while, unless it's super important for this show. Then I can check it. But
so we are here, cancelthisshow.com, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. News headlines, politics, interviews from a local, state, national level. You know what we do there. Your water cooler talk, things that actually affect you in your life. You guys educate us. We do the same when we all entertain each other together. Hey, jump in on the People's Platform if you want. I did see Lizzie there. Lizzie has somehow mastered the art of multitasking. We will do our best at trying to answer and jump in with your questions and get those things in and your content. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube. We are on X, Clout Hub, and Rumble. And of course, after the show, we go straight to our audio. Please like, subscribe, share the show. Let people know what we do. You guys sharing and telling people, hey, check out this show. That's how we've grown so fast, organically. And we are grateful for all the support that you guys give us. Coming up on the show today, we have got a lot. Is this Trump-Biden debate actually going to happen? It broke while we were at the end of our show yesterday. Then we saw the list of demands from the Biden camp. Donald Trump will get into it. Will be silly for doing this. I'm sorry, he will be. I hope he does, and I still don't buy this. I don't buy it, but we'll see what happens. Go figure, another boat hit a bridge yesterday. The Media Research Center says that Soros and his crew are at it again. Just wait until you hear the amount of money that his group or one of his groups is spending to try to stop your comments on social media for the election. It's happening all over again. We have Andrew Bailey, Missouri's Attorney General, coming in May 28th. He's had lawsuits to try to stop this kind of thing from ever happening again, because if you know, and you were online in 2020, you know what happened to your comments if they weren't pro-left comments. We know what happened there. We've got video of a top DEI advisor in the Navy who accidentally told an undercover agent all about the joke that DEI is in the military, who our number one adversary is, and what would happen if a world war broke out. He's like, everybody would forget really fast about what color of the skin everybody else is.
Yes.
There'd be no divisiveness anymore. And you'd see all these groups, these hate groups, and that's what they are, these pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah, they're all the same. BLM, Antifa, they're all about division. And it kind of leads into the Soros stuff. And yes, he is the big bad boogeyman with the sun. A fun story to watch today. MSNBC did a focus group on who they would want as president. Yeah, it didn't go as they thought it would go, with 2 African Americans in there as well.
they just cannot get ahead.
We'll get into that.
That's
Joe did
for
some
sure.
great artwork with that King Charles picture
Yes.
that was released. We'll see what happened there. And what else do we have? A couple little pictures. Yeah, so we got a lot going on. Anything else you guys want to talk about, we can do that as well. Megan, you are a fill-in co-host with us. It's been a while since you've been in.
Yeah.
Remind everybody who you are, what you do, and let everybody know about your podcast coming up too.
Good morning.
Well, just reintroduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Megan Moret, and I help out with Vic and Lizzie when one of them cannot get in. And I have been in production with Joe, with our pro Joe. We are just finishing up some last minute editing for a podcast series called Invisible Innocence. And I'm going to be talking about human trafficking, the different types of human trafficking, how you can recognize it, how to keep yourself, your children safe from human trafficking. I'll talk a little bit about my experience with human trafficking. I get to spend time every week with girls 12 to 18 years old that are in restoration from trafficking. And I love it. I just think that they are just wonderful girls, and it's really great watching them go through the healing process and find that confidence again. I absolutely love it. And I also get to advocate in the court system for kids in care. So whether it be in foster care or just really outside of a home. They don't have a home. We need to find them a home. And so I advocate for them too. And just make sure that they are safe is basically what I do.
And we appreciate you coming in, because you were a listener to viewer. You started as listener to viewer.
I still am.
And
And
now you're part of the team. It just kind of
Yeah.
happened pretty organically.
Yes.
And we are grateful for that happening. And when people get to know you more, they'll learn that you're pretty direct about what you're doing.
Yes.
You never would have made it in local news. You would have always
No.
had to have done your
Gosh.
own thing,
Yes.
because I love the fact that, Megan, you don't listen to people above you who try to take control of your information.
No, I do not. I do not. Well, look, I mean, if you're going to ask me to do something because you trust me and I'm a professional, well, then that's the deal. And then I do my work and that's it.
We love it. And we're glad that you're here. Projo in the house as well. The story that came down yesterday, right at the end, these debates, Trump, Biden, I don't know. I mean, I consider say, well, I think this is going to happen. This is not going to happen. I pray to God Donald Trump does not do a debate
Oh my gosh, me
June
too.
27th. Trump called Biden's bluff to do these debates. Biden's camp is getting crushed in polling pretty much from where they were. His favorability is the worst, and his competence when it comes to Americans. So they want to throw something against the wall, the Democratic Party, the DNC, whatever they can do. So they're we'll debate him anywhere, anytime. Then they did a heavily edited video of like 4 or 5 different edits to try to put a sentence together. I beat him twice in 2020 and I'll beat him again. Okay. Then At the same time, the exact same time that they put this debate information out against Trump yesterday, they also sent a list of demands to their debate committee about what they had to have.
Yes.
They can't have an audience. Donald Trump can't interrupt, even if he's being accused of a lie. They want mics turned off if somebody goes over by a second. It's in a studio where nobody else can be there. And they want Dana Bash and I'm trying to remember the male host, another ultra liberal. It's on the tip of my tongue.
I didn't hear that.
Oh yeah, that's who they want.
I didn't hear the
The
guy.
CNN anchors to host this debate, and it's on. And they would only allow a few networks to do the debate: CNN, ABC, and CBS, I believe.
Yeah.
No Fox, no Newsmax. Nobody else to be involved. No Tucker Carlson involved. If Jake Tapper, that's right, Jake Tapper,
that's what
who
is
has basically cried on air at Donald Trump's popularity. If Trump does this, and I don't know, and I know Trump can be a master manipulator of the media. He is outstanding. If Trump agrees to this, he is not smart, and he will not win, and he will not come off favorably. There is absolutely no way, because the deck will be stacked against him.
Yep, I agree. And I just think there's something is not right with all of the things that they're saying, that they like no audience, all of these things. Well, first of all, I think that it would look really silly if Joe showed up and he didn't have an audience and Trump did. I think that he would feel intimidated. It would it would look horrible. I mean, it already does. He goes places and no one shows up for him. But, I wonder with, just having no one there from Trump's camp at all. So I'm like, okay, well, are they going to AI this and then they can't have quote unquote witnesses there?
No.
Like, is that, well, why? I mean, why are they? Why
Biden would have to be there. No, Trump.
No, I don't know. I don't mean like them not physically be there. What I'm saying is if they talk and they don't like something that is said, are they going to like try and cut it out or try to add something, while they're debating and then release it? And then, but if there were witnesses there, they can go, wait a minute, that's not what he said. You know what I mean? Like, why are they being so like secretive and protective about like who is in the room?
Well, I just felt it was for the art maker, the deal maker, the art of the deal making from Donald Trump. This was, unless there's something that we can't see, this was the dumbest thing Trump could have done.
Yeah.
Because by accepting immediately, he lost all of his leverage for demands without national media coming at him. I'm sorry. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, and I think one of the best things that has happened, I hate that there's this gag order against Trump. Obviously it's not fair that it's just him and no one else has been gagged like Michael Cohen or any of these other people. But I also kind of think that he has gotten a leg up with this. I think that him not being able to come out and we all know that he's, he gets fiery. He loves to talk. He loves to make comments. He likes to say, go home to your mama, all those things. But I think that him having to be more reserved and measured, I think has really done great for him. Because they don't have any ammo against him right now. The Dems.
They're going to crush him in a debate.
No, what I'm saying is right now with him having the gag order. Okay. So what I'm saying is in the debate, I don't think that's going to be good for him to be able to come, because I think that he's gotten a leg up so far and then he's going to go backwards.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, exactly.
In the debate.
I think he's given them enough rope to hang themselves.
Well,
that's
certainly a point. My issue with the whole thing is the fact that you're going in to their backyard at CNN with CNN anchors, CNN hosts, CNN producers. You're going in on all their demands. If you do that,
yes,
you have no basis. You're not going to win that debate.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Are they going to?
You're not going to win. You're not going to win.
Right.
This whole thing. And the fact that senior campaign officials for Trump and Biden have been talking about this for some time. And the other issue, which I'm pissed off at Trump and Biden about if this happens, the other prerequisite from Biden's camp, not Trump, but Biden, and Trump agreed to it, RFK Jr. is not allowed to be there.
Right. And
that's bullshit.
And he's ticked about that.
He's got enough percentage of I'm not a fan of his, but I'm a fan of free speech.
Yeah.
He should be involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Biden campaign said, nope, he can't be. Nope.
How come Biden's camp
So why would
gets to
Trump
make all the conditions?
Well,
I don't
once again,
understand.
which is why I'm sitting here going,
Why doesn't Trump
there's
come back
no
and
way
counter?
there is no way this can happen. There's no way. That's why I'm saying there's no way.
He needs to counter.
Trump is
this
not that
offer.
dumb.
Well, I don't know if he's just like, look, let's just do this already. And he just doesn't, he's like, let's just get it going. But he should be able to come back and say, okay, well, if you're going to have this guy here, well, then I want to at least have this guy here. I don't understand why he gets to call all the shots, or Joe's people gets to call all the shots. There's just no way. I'm having a hard time believing that Joe is going to be able to get up and talk with Trump. I just cannot see it happening. And I think that Trump will just murder him. I mean, he will just have a heyday.
They won't allow it to happen.
Well, and that's why I'm saying, so like, will they be able to like edit stuff, cut stuff out, like clip and do everything that they want with this debate? And that's why they're not allowing anyone else to be there. There's something is not right with the way that they're handling the entire thing, which is no surprise to any of us, but still there's something's up.
But Biden isn't a flat out idiot. We know that he can't handle things, and he can't handle anything. If somebody can barely walk, barely talk, barely has motor skills, he messes up. And just because national media doesn't show it to you, we show it to you on a weekly basis. He literally can't talk. He can't use a prompter. He can't function. He's struggling everywhere he goes.
No, he can't talk.
His favorability is the lowest of any president ever. His support from people thinking he can actually do a job. Biden needs this. He needs to get the guy who's dominating him, the true leader, the speaker, the guy that we've seen out there dealing with actual policy, and pull him down to his level.
Yeah.
Because, Biden's an ankle biter.
Yeah.
He's that
for sure.
He's that little guy like trying to, I want to be up there with you. And for Trump, maybe they're playing to Trump's ego, because if Trump has any sort of a weakness, or at least it's been his ego. And that's what I have ripped Trump in the past. I love Donald Trump, but I hate his ego.
Yeah.
I hate his ego.
Me too.
And pride comes before a fall. And if he does that debate, he is a dumbass for doing.
Well,
and I love Donald Trump. You listen to us every day here. I support him. I love his policy. But if he does a debate where he is going to be allowed to be pulled down, a debate where the rules are set under the current terms where he cannot win, then he and his campaign are dumb. Absolutely dumb. There's no other way to say it.
Well, unless he gets up there, and it would take a lot of restraint on his part. But unless he got up there and just shocked everyone and was like calm and cool and, didn't react to every little thing and like just completely changed his game, I think that he could really go far with the debate, because I think what the Dems are looking for and they're expecting is for Trump to get up there and to bully Joe, to make it look like he's a bully, because the Dems, the progressive lefts, they thrive on being a victim. So if they can have, Trump be made to look like a bully and poor Joe, they will vote for Joe just because he's been bullied, because that's what these people do. They stand up for, the weakest link. And
out of everything that is going on, for Trump to agree to do a debate without RFK Jr., that's wrong. That is flat out wrong.
I agree with that.
Because
he's
the
still
Democratic
in the race.
RFK Jr. would be the nominee if the Democrat Party had they are not letting RFK Jr. even run. They wouldn't debate RFK Jr.
No.
Biden refused to debate RFK Jr. Once again, I'm not a fan of RFK Jr. And it's hard for me to back anybody that would allow an abortion up till the time of birth or near birth. Okay.
Well,
and he is a hardcore left-leaning liberal. So if that's going to happen, everything has been going smooth for the Trump campaign. And then I look at this and I'm like,
unless, like I said, though, I think unless he changes his complete demeanor, I think that he could maybe do really well,
This
but
is
he's
a
going to
lose.
have to.
This is a lose-lose situation for Donald Trump. It
Yeah.
just,
Well-
what is here, how about tell me this? Because I always say I want to keep an open mind. What the hell can Donald Trump actually do and win out of doing a debate that's at CNN with CNN anchors where mics get cut off after your time? You can't really respond if somebody lies about you. No audience, no RFK Jr., and the deck is stacked against you when it comes to questioning. What can Donald Trump really win and get out of a debate when those are the conditions? Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you know something. Maybe Pro Joe knows something. Maybe our viewing audience knows. What can Donald Trump win?
Well, when you're talking to someone who's completely delusional, I mean, I think that what's going to happen is I think that they're going to get up there and they're going to talk a lot about the border. They're going to talk a lot about how Bidenomics is not good. They're going to talk a lot about inflation. And when you have someone that's truly as delusional as Joe Biden, you can't you can't have a conversation with crazy. And he will literally, he still every day he gets up in front of the American people and says how great the economy is and how many jobs he's, he's whatever got given since he's been in. And it's all the jobs that were canceled because of the pandemic. And now they're just going back to it. But he is not doing anything for our economy.
So what can Trump win?
I don't know.
I don't know what Trump can gain in a debate under Joe Biden's rules.
So I think
the media is already stacked 100% against you.
How much it's stacked against him, I think that no matter what, they cannot hold back what this is going to tell. And when they do, it's going to be so obvious to everybody that they're hiding something, or that they're cutting mics, or that they're cutting a commercial or something like that. It's going to be completely obvious. I think it's a great move, to be honest with you, because it doesn't matter. They can't hide it all.
Jay, I disagree. I disagree with you, Joe, and here's why. They will be able to hide everything. I watched Joe Biden give a speech at the White House recently where he was all drugged up. Now, he lied, but guess what? Nobody's going to be there to stop lies.
Yeah.
It may be after the fact. Mm-hmm. Joe Biden, under a scripted situation, drugged up with adrenaline, will be able to be fine. And once again, going into the debate, people are like, oh, Joe's so bad. He's so bad that when he gives pre-scripted answers, he doesn't look as bad. And then his level is down here. So if he barely meets his level, then it's all right. He's done great. Donald Trump's level's way up here.
Yeah.
So he gets brought down. Mm-hmm. It's the thing that happens with debates and things in life. It's all about expectations. The expectations for Joe Biden are not high. So therefore, if he barely meets the expectation, he does well. Yeah. It's not, and it's all set up by him for his inside team. Dumb.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think that they're just expecting him to be mean, for Trump to, basically point out all of Joe's downfalls
which is
everything.
Good possibility, depending on what mood he's in.
Jay says, I disagree with you, Vic, based on Biden's inability to talk coherently or even be rational. The Biden camp is probably in panic mode. Well, the reason I disagree is because under a preset list of questions that he knows he's going to be talking about, he gives an answer, and then there's not going to be any back and forth because the mics get cut off. I'm telling you, people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
Dumb.
With the AI, like, are they going to cut stuff out and then add stuff? Like how? Like
on the go?
No,
it's live.
Well, I know, but there's always a lag. There's enough lag. Even if it's like 3 seconds, they could, you know what I mean?
I'm not worried about that. I guess it could happen.
I mean, I don't know.
Here's my concern. There's not going to be there won't be back and forth. There won't be back and forth. And Joe Biden will not be able to, and that's why they want to cut the mics off. It's like, question, give your answer, off.
Yeah, exactly.
Move to the next question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Question, give your answer, off.
Well,
go to the next question.
I wonder if he can even stand that long.
Do not fall for the trap that Biden is so dumb, because we know he is. But when he's drugged up and has time to prepare for one moment, he can at least meet his low expectations.
Yeah.
He can. And then he can't go back and forth. We know that. He's an idiot.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for them to pull him. I mean, it's like when is he going to have some
I
kind
agree
of
with you.
fall or something, and then they're going to say, look, it's just best that he bows out of the race. He broke his his leg, his arm, his neck, and all of his toes, and he
But-
just can't do it. I mean, I'm waiting for that.
I agree.
I think Donna's right. I think we're going to watch him shit his pants live on TV.
No, he'll be perfect.
No, oh my gosh, he's going to be double dependent.
Don't
They're
forget,
going to have him triple wrapped.
all the media said Biden exceeded expectations in the State of the Union, according to Glenn, and he did. You may not like it as a conservative, but he did, because his expectations were so low.
Yep.
Life is about expectations. We've talked about under promise and over deliver and everything. Don't over promise and under deliver, then you got an issue.
Well, the fact that he just stood up there for longer than
telling
20
you, people,
minutes
and here's
is
why.
amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
this is why I disagree with you, Joe, or Jay. I think Jay had a comment. He says, even with no mic, Trump will just yell loud enough. And that's a problem, Jay. And here's why. Because one of Donald Trump's worst public moments ever was the last debate that he did with Joe Biden. He was unhinged.
Yeah.
He was bad. Trump was terrible in the debate setting because Trump was honest. Joe lied, and it frustrated the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Because how can this be going on?
Yeah.
Guess what? He's walking back into the same damn thing if he does this, which is why I still don't believe there's going to be a debate. There's no way in effing hell Trump and his team would walk back in to that situation with the rules being the way that this isn't a movie. This isn't like Rocky going to Russia to fight Drago, where we already wrote the headlines and it's going to work out for the good in America. And if I can change and you can change, we can all change. No, this is scripted out for the Democrats.
Yeah.
This is not scripted out where a miracle is going to happen and Donald Trump all of a sudden gets all the liberal people to change their minds and be fair. This is dumb.
Well, I understand that he can't say no. He can't say no. We all know that. But what he can do is
it can't happen.
He's got to counter offer the conditions. He's got to come back and be like, are you crazy? Like, no, I get to have, some people here. If you're going to have all these people and you're going to say which networks and which hosts and all these other things, he should have the right to be able to come in and say, okay, well, then I'm not going to do it unless it's fair.
Once again,
what's fair is fair.
I'm a massive supporter of Donald Trump because of his policy issues. If you go into a situation that you can't win, and then you think you're going to win because of your arrogance, ego, pride, whatever, shame on you.
Yeah.
Which is why if he does it, whatever happens, happens. And no matter what happens, will it be a deciding factor as we had from the chat line? No, it probably won't be. But at the same point in time, why put yourself through that when it's not going to be fair, and the media is not going to allow it to be fair?
Yeah.
And it allows Joe Biden to get closer to you.
Well,
unless you really don't want to be president.
And I think especially, I think that all of these court cases and everything, I think that Donald's going to walk out of there and maybe have some kind of a misdemeanor. I mean, otherwise Bragg's going to look like a total fool if he doesn't get, slapped with something. But so I think that the Dems are going to want to come back and be like, look, okay, whether he is found innocent or guilty, they're going to want to try and come and make him look like a criminal again.
Well, I know most people that watch our show watch it when it's not live. But for people who are watching live, I'm curious, do you want the debates or not? Yes or no? Under the current circumstances, I don't. What about you?
Gosh, no, I don't.
Joe.
I think that you're right. He should have a little bit more say in what's going on instead of just going into there.
Robert says, guys, remember, Dems don't fight fair. As Eric told us a year ago here on the show, one of our co-hosts on Fridays, Democrats play chess, Republicans play checkers when it comes to using the media and when it comes to going at elections.
Yeah.
We
got a lot. Well, we're 50, about half 50, and half. Yeah.
It is interesting. No, they don't want the debates. No, I'm on the fence. Yes. No. 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 A hard no.
Okay, so
under the parameters, no.
Someone with a yes, what do you think is the benefit of Trump going into this under these conditions? That's what I want to know.
Jamie,
because maybe there's something that I'm missing too. I don't know. I'll tell you, we were just talking about the debate with Biden the last time. How about when Trump and Hillary were up together? Remember that?
What, 2016?
Yes, that was hysterical.
Yeah, Trump was great.
My gosh, that was awesome. If anyone's forgotten about that one, he was good. He was so good.
Just don't expect anything positive to happen under these terms.
Yeah.
That's where it comes. So we'll see. Troy says it shows the ignorance and stupidity and one-sidedness. Not under the manipulated conditions. Hell no. I think Joe will back out before the debate. Probably. I mean, we'll see. We'll see where it all
Those were the
goes.
2 yeses.
I
Amy
do
and
too.
Troy.
I think that something may happen before the end of June too that might change their mind. And I think that that's what that's what he's banking on.
Barb
I
says,
think that
Barb says Trump would handle himself well, but they don't fight fair. So that's why I say no. Something would obviously happen. Connie says he needs to bring his props, receipts, copies of the $40,000 check. Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I was born a poor black child. My uncle got eaten by cannibals, etc. and I don't care what anybody says. A moderator has an opportunity, a chance to really give a flavor of where the debate is going to go, what is going to happen, to push back on a question, and they can certainly gear it towards negative when it comes to Donald Trump.
Yeah. I just thought of something too. If Trump were to go up and debate, and obviously Joe Biden's going to try and make Trump look like a criminal, for all of these things, whether it's the Stormy thing or whatever. But what I'm wondering if Trump will come back and say, really, well, let's talk about your daughter's diary. I mean, can you imagine how that would go?
I don't know. It should. That's what it should be on that.
Yeah, it should.
But at the end of the day, I'm still saying right now, there's no way this debate happens. I'm going on the record and saying June 27th does not happen because there is no way in hell Trump is that stupid to go into that environment and do that. So I'm giving Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt that he will not go into that debate, that it won't happen somehow, some way. There's no way somebody's going to back out.
I think he knows Joe's going to back out because there's no way he can do it. There's just no way. They're not going to be able to prop him up.
They get him popped up on whatever that is.
But they can't keep him propped up for too long.
But look at the State of the Union.
At the State of the Union.
He was up there, and I mean,
for a long time.
and you could tell, but you could tell towards the end, whatever he was on was starting to wear off. And he started getting sleepy and slower and didn't have as much.
I don't see it. And if Trump does it, he is a dumb man because it will not be favorable for him. There's no way.
Yeah. Well,
it's just not going to happen.
I didn't think that Biden was going to be the running guy this long though, either. I mean, I do think that they're going to switch him out at the last minute. I'm still calling on Gavin Newsom to be in his spot. That's what I think.
Yeah, the only way that a debate like this could happen is if Donald Trump knows something that they're going to pull him.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe this is his last effort where Donald gets to talk. And then is there another debate where Donald Trump has already put everything out there? Then he has to debate again against somebody new.
Yeah.
That's this as it is. It does not make sense. Not setting up.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Jamie says the State of the Union is not a debate, but it's more like a State of the Union because if the mics are cut off and there's not allowed to crosstalk, then it's really not a debate.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just you're answering questions and making statements.
Yeah. And under pressure.
That's a problem.
I think he'd crumble under that kind of pressure. He doesn't even know where to stand when he goes and has to talk with, foreign leaders. He has no clue.
They would not put him
around.
They know more than we know. They see him behind the scenes.
They'll have him harnessed up on that podium.
They know what he can and can't do. They would not put him in this situation if he could not do it. I'm telling you.
I think he opened his mouth, and I think that he put the Dems in this. I don't think this was intentional. I think that it was his big mouth, and they have to follow through.
I disagree. I think it's because they did this all at the same time.
Yeah,
it was coordinated, Joe.
Okay.
They sent a letter to the debate committee at the same time that he accepted. So it was all done at the same time. He's accepting, but they didn't tell publicly about what the demands were. They sent the demands to the debate committee at the same time that Joe called him out. So it was all coordinated. It was all planned. And they know what they're doing.
Well, even just a couple months ago, though, Biden, every time he was asked about a debate, he's like, I don't know. It depends on how he behaves and things like that. You could tell that he was on the fence. He wasn't going to say yes, and he definitely wasn't going to say no.
Well, senior officials from
But
both campaigns had been talking for some time about getting a debate together.
yeah. Well, and he can only, I mean, KJP and all of his, mouths that talk for him, they can only hold out for so long on a lot of the stuff that he says. Like, he just kind of vomits things out, and then they have to backtrack and try to cover things up or change what he says or say, oh, he didn't really mean this or mean that. But this time, I mean, he's got to follow through.
These people, they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where it is. We'll see where it goes, what happens. I don't want to see it. I've seen this enough. I don't want to see it. Oh, please. Anyway, Chris says, I disagree, Megan. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's no way the Dems will run Newsom over knee pad Cammie.
Really?
The left would lose their upper liberal base by replacing the first woman of color, a VP, with a white guy. Yeah, but that white guy's from California. I don't know.
I mean, Cammie, I forget about her actually until you just
Well,
said
they've
that.
kept
Like,
her quiet.
Yeah.
No, but they've kept her quiet for about 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah. Well,
Almost 5 to 6 months. She's been quiet. They have not allowed her anywhere near the public because her ratings are so bad. She is the most unpopular vice president in the history of our country. Now, Joe Biden's favorability numbers are the lowest of any president ever. The vice presidents are the lowest of anybody ever.
Yeah.
They've kept her out. She is out of the public eye right now.
Well, she was cackling. Where was she doing her little cackle head the other day?
She was promoting. She was promoting DEI stuff.
Yeah.
She was promoting DEI, and of course, if you're black, you're entitled, and if you're black, you face all these problems. And that's her only calling card.
Gosh, and
she's really not black. She's a woman of color.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to break it all down and look at her heritage and her culture,
mm-hmm.
she's a woman of color.
Mm-hmm.
She's not African American.
Yeah.
Just remember that. Most people forget about that. And of course, many people in the media will not break that down and talk about that either.
Mamala.
Yeah. And she's handled the border so well from Heather. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
of course she has. Jay says she is a weak link in the campaign because no one wants to see her for president. Yep. She's been doing her reproductive health care stuff. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Talking about ovaries and
yeah, all the bad stuff that's happening all over the place. Yeah. It is interesting though when all of these things are going on, because I just look at Donald Trump. MSNBC did a focus group. And this focus group that MSNBC did, it didn't turn out the way that they wanted. They literally were trying to go after Trump and check out what was actually said. These are the kind of things that we bring to you because we're about facts first, then we'll talk about feelings. We can't talk about emotions and feelings and how you're doing, how are you doing today unless you talk about facts first.
Yeah.
Check out this focus group from MSNBC.
Being impacted by this trial? Are they paying close attention? And what impact might a guilty verdict have on their decision to support the former president? Here's what they told me. Take a look. Do each of you support Donald Trump?
I do.
Yes. Yes for all three of you? Yes. Has this trial changed your opinion, even caused you to waver or question that at all?
No, it's actually caused me to support him more. I just don't believe there's a coincidence that we have a trial happening in Atlanta. We have one happening in New York. So the question people are beginning to ask themselves, like I did, is like, why now?
It's pretty much everybody says they're picking on him. People are tired of going after him, and you see it in so many areas. It's really not a big issue in the party. Actually, they're really making everybody mad, and they look at a big bully, and the government is the bully.
This is going to be your first time casting a ballot. What is it for you?
But he still hasn't given up. He keeps fighting to do what's right.
I've talked to many people who formerly identified as a Democrat. They have changed their political persuasion to independent, and they are looking forward to voting for Trump. Wow. Because now they find something in common with a political candidate at that level.
When you say they find commonality, what is that commonality?
They have felt persecuted by the system of American injustice. And it's not a stretch for them to think that Trump may be a victim as well. People see that there's some kind of commonality between himself and maybe all the black men that have been incarcerated and the families that have been impacted by black male incarceration.
Yeah, how about that? Trump gaining popularity because of what's happening in the court system. I can't believe MSNBC actually ran that. Well, maybe they got to the point where they're like, shit, people, wake up, stop these court proceedings. Stop, get your arrogance out of the way, your pride, and going after Trump. He's gaining ratings in the polling.
Yeah.
And black people love Trump now. They do. They just do. Now, the evil people that go, ew, he's racist, he's mean. Blacks won't vote. Black people are going to vote for Donald Trump at the highest rate that we have ever seen.
I agree.
That's a fact.
Yes.
That's a fact. Despite all of the lies and the messages in the inner cities, and despite Democrats screwing over the African-American communities for generations, only caring about blacks when it comes to elections, watch that the numbers are going higher and higher because people are waking up in those communities. Black people are talking publicly for the first time about Donald Trump, caring about them. The same black people that loved Trump and accepted all the money that he was giving that Democrats weren't giving before he ran for office. But when he ran for office as a Republican, all of a sudden he became a bad guy because he had an R in front of his name.
That's right. And isn't it so refreshing to see people on the other side, whether it's a different news network or just any Democrat, say that they realize and they see that this is unfair. That them trying to, using the justice system to criminalize someone that is running for president, that they actually see that is so refreshing to me because we see it. I mean, we've seen it for a long time, but it's just awesome when you see these other people come out and say, this is not right. Whether you agree with him being the president or not, this is not right. And that makes me feel really good.
Well, Joe Biden knows that he's got an uphill battle. He's been training.
Yeah.
He's been training. We have video of Joe Biden training. He's doing his best to train to take on Donald Trump. Did you see this video yet?
No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, here it is. For our listeners on the podcast, Joe is...
I can't wait.
Look at him. George Soros.
All right, that's right. Slip the jab.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, Mickey's got, look at him. Mickey's got Joe training.
Right, and you do right. That Apollo won't know what hit him. You're going to roll over him like a bulldozer. And I tell him, hey,
George Soros. Doing his best. Yeah. He's got his walker right there with him for our listeners on the podcast. Joe Biden hitting he's actually tapping a heavy bag because that's what he does. He feels it like a cat would.
Yeah.
And then of course Soros behind him, holding him up.
It's so funny.
Hands on his hips.
Yeah, hands on his hips, taking care of him to make sure everything is going to go all right. And we're going to make sure that Joe can stand up.
Well, and to Jay's point, just as far as the Democratic leaders, even pushing for Trump, I think that people really do see that if Biden is going to be the guy, that he cannot run another 4 years. So you may as well start pushing people towards the other person. I mean, even if it was RFK, just anyone except for Biden, it's going to be a disaster. The guy cannot make it 4 more years. So I think that that's going to be a strong point too.
Well, another issue that just came out this morning regarding Joe Biden. By the way, this is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust. Megan Marie Moret is in today for Lizzie Sparks. Lizzie's resting her voice. She'll be back tomorrow. Pro Joe, of course, in the house, making sure everything looks and sounds as good as it can. This just came out this morning. What do you guys think about this? Biden has now invoked what is called executive privilege to block the release of his recording. There were recordings when he was interviewed by special counsel Hur. Remember Robert Hur, who said that the only reason he didn't charge him with crimes was because he was old and feeble, and a jury might see him as just an old guy they didn't want to hurt. Remember, the same guy that's president, trying to run for president again, who was not competent to stand trial, is still being allowed to run for president.
Oh my gosh,
there was a recording of that entire interview, and now Biden is doing everything he can to stop it from becoming public because they know how bad it is. He's having to invoke an executive privilege to stop the recording involving his alleged mishandling of his classified documents. Once again, if that doesn't show more guilt, I don't know what does.
I know.
That coming out this morning, that is the guy that has been selected. He wasn't elected. He was selected to be president. That's what the deep state does. That's what the deep state has right now involved with everybody. How does that make you feel?
Gosh, and I totally forgot. I mean, see, like all of these little points that we are so quick to forget that they declared him not fit, not
competent to stand trial.
Yes. And yet he's, able to run to, lead our country for the next 4 years. How does this even work? I mean, I feel like I'm on another planet half the time. I just don't understand how any of this works and how it can't be stopped. You get Trump in, to talk about how do they know what Trump wanted to give the hush money for? Can they read his mind? Do they, they're like, no, he didn't do it to protect his family. He did it, for election fraud. How do they know?
They don't.
Now they can read minds, I guess. And everything. It's just, if it wasn't so just disgusting, it would be funny,
Like the dead guy that was at the bank with his handler. We showed that video here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Heather says, of course he is. He has no support, so he has to evoke his executive privilege to do anything. So sad that he's able to get away with everything. Of course, this is the most crime-ridden president that this country has ever seen, ever.
Yeah.
Ever, ever, ever.
Well, and his entire family. I mean, they're all crooks. They've all gotten money from people that they shouldn't have gotten money from. They've done it, illegally behind the scenes. I mean, I can't even tell you all of the crimes that Hunter has committed. And he's just out walking around like a free man. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is in a courtroom every single day except for Wednesday. And he can't even go out and campaign.
Exactly.
He wasn't even going to be able to go to his son's graduation because they're trying to be mind readers of how he wanted, what slot in his, what would you call that? In his accounting, where the money went for Stormy Daniels. It's so ridiculous. It's nuts.
Once again, you should not be surprised by anything you see with this administration. It's going to get worse. They're going to hide everything they possibly can because that's what they want to do. They know that if all the truth comes out, it's going to be even worse. The polling shows people in America have woken up. Not everybody, but people have woken up, or they're starting to wake up right now with what's going on. Because Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of the country. And don't forget about all the cocaine they find in the White House all the time.
So true.
I'm not going to talk debates. I'm getting messages about debates, and I'm like, I still can't get. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. And once again, this also came out today. I was being reminded by a friend of mine who's in the media nationally. President Biden's camp insisting they will not debate if there is one person in an audience. That he has come out again. Biden's camp has come out again this morning and talked about that.
And why? What's the deal with that? Why?
I don't know.
Is he that intimidated?
No, I don't get it.
I think he's super intimidated. That, or I'm telling you, they do not want witnesses. They do not want people there. They're going to do something, and they do not want anyone there to be able to come back and say, look, I was there, and that did not happen. I'm telling you, There's just no way.
Shay thinks that the crack needs to be brought up in a debate.
Yeah.
It won't be. It won't be.
There's a lot of things that should be brought up.
No,
that won't be.
Unless both parties agree in advance to what the questions are going to be. There's no way in hell Trump will be allowed to bring up any of this stuff.
Well, yeah. And
those debate, Jake Tapper, not to get back off track, but Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, they have to go back to their Democratic jobs when the debate's over. There's no way in hell they're going to give any fair shot. No way. No way. No way. No, 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 no. And Robert says, by the way, while we're talking about these issues, he says people, and we try to get ahead of stories. He said, Americans need to really start paying attention to the currency markets. China, Japan, Mexico, etc. Japan and China have major issues. When there's issues in Japan, there's issues all around the world. Japan, in some senses, also predicts what's going to happen in America if you look at history. I agree, Robert. It scares me a little to think about what can happen because Americans, we don't think anything can happen here. We don't. And just pay attention. One great way to talk about that. Chris says, sadly enough, not enough people are waking up, especially if you look at the left social media threads. There's a large portion of people that have severe TDS, and they sound like the guy that we have in the afternoon here, talking from a liberal standpoint.
Well, I had lunch. I was telling Joe about this. I had lunch last week with a woman that I've known for over 25 years. One of the most liberal Jewish women that I've ever met. And I love her. And we've always had a great relationship, but we have been arguing about the border before the border was an issue. And I would say, and it was back when Trump was in, and she was like, well, how can you support someone that has these children in cages and, all of these things. And so her and I would get into these heated arguments about, well, I mean, to be honest, they weren't cages. I mean, when you're trying to contain people, you have to have some kind of a physical.
Next time you talk to a reminder that Biden started putting people in cages, or Obama.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I mean, you have to have some sort of a physical, something to keep people in. And I mean, I would rather, we're up to 90,000 children right now that we have no idea where they are. I'd rather there be 90,000 children that were in some sort of encampment behind wire than just out running free, and probably half of them aren't even around anymore, which is sad to say. But so and then all of this, and she's very, very she's very proud of her being Jewish, and I could not wait. This was last week.
Okay, and so, she's still liberal.
She's still liberal.
I'm not trying to be mean, but I hope she's watching. I'm going to tell you if she is. I'm not. This is going to come across mean. But how could you dare, whoever you are, call yourself a liberal Jew voting for a Democrat after what you have seen liberal Jewish politicians do to you and your people in Israel right now? Because I know Jews who have now flipped the script after watching what the Democrats have done to them and their people and those in Israel.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that was my question.
And I'm not trying to be too hard.
No, but you're absolutely right.
But people who are Jewish who still vote Democrat after what they see can never, ever say that they're upset about what they see happening to Jewish students or Jewish people anywhere in the world. They can't. She has no right to call herself Jewish and still vote for a Democrat.
You're correct. But she, in her mind, even though the news that she watches,
she needs to hang out with other Jews who have made the switch.
Well, but the problem is when she continues to watch only one side, in her mind, she does see the pro-Palestinian, the pro-Hamas stuff. She sees the anti-Semitism. However, they are still trying to make Trump and the Republicans look even worse. So the problem for her is she's still only seeing one side. So what's the lesser of two evils is the way that she's looking at it. And she said something to me. I said, well, I just can't believe that you would still, vote, Democrat. And she said, well, I mean, look at our two choices. They're both awful and so on and so forth. And then she says to me, well, I mean, look at all of the Republicans. She goes, look at that one guy, that one guy from here, that one guy that's, in the Senate, he's got the big teeth and he's so mean and he's so hateful. And I go, who are you talking about? Well, it was Josh Hawley.
Yeah, I knew she was talking about.
And so I said, well, what don't you like about him? Well, he's another bulldog, and they don't like that. Like, he will go and he will speak his piece. He stands up for things. And I said, well, what don't you like about him? She couldn't answer me. And I said, well, have you ever heard
people who tell the truth?
Right. And I said, have you ever heard him talk about, protecting people in trafficking? Just for instance, that's just one thing that he really is big on. And she goes, oh, he does? And I go, well, yeah. So you hate him so much, but yet you have no idea what he stands for. You have no idea the policies that he's trying to get pushed through.
Typical
and so
liberal.
It is. They just don't see the other side. So they are sitting here willing to watch all of this pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas garbage that's going on, yet they still see Trump as more evil. That is what is so sad to me. So are there people waking up? Yes. Are the Black communities waking up? I do believe that they are. However, we still have a whole nother huge, group of people that it's going to be hard to get them to switch. They are willing to put Biden back in because they think that Trump is so bad.
There is no way any Jew should ever vote Democrat under the current circumstances. If you're Jewish voting Democrat, you need to look yourself in the mirror and really, really, really long and hard. And you really need to do some research, because if you support you realize that there are not Democrats standing up for what's happening right now in our country. It's the Republicans. It's not Joe Biden. He was withholding weapons.
Yeah.
These finally going through. It's Donald Trump who has stood up for Jews. It's Republicans who are standing up for Jews. As we speak, there are press conferences going on live in DC where Mike Johnson and Elise Stefanik literally are, and Stephen Scalise are standing at a podium that says, we stand with Israel. These are Republicans, not Jews. Jews are very conflicted. And I'm sorry, if anybody thinks that liberal Democrat Jews have any intelligence and are very smart for voting Democrat after what's happening to your own people, think again. Well, it's all out there.
Yeah.
If the propaganda has ruined Jews so bad to the point that they would still vote Democrat, even though Democrats are not condemning what are happening to their own kids on campuses. And we've shown the violence against Jewish kids who are doing nothing. Somebody's got to stand up for the Jews. And if it needs to be the Republicans, so be it, because they are. And if other Jews want to still sit back and say, well, the Republicans are bad, either they're dumb, uneducated, or they're evil.
Right. And you have to remember going back to October, November, December, Joe Biden coming out left and right saying, my support for Israel is unwavering. It's unwavering. They are our allies and we're going to do whatever it takes. And now, for some reason, they think that they can tell Netanyahu how to run his country, how to react to basically what would have been, a 9/11 for us, telling them how to do it, telling them that they're not going to give them the support that they're asking for unless, and here's the Biden camp again, throwing out all of these conditions. You're going to do it like this. We're not going to give you this if you continue to go into Rafah or if you go into all of these other places. And meanwhile, you've got Bozo Blinken over, in some basement bar playing his guitar over in Ukraine.
Yeah, and we showed that video yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it makes zero sense.
Well, not to get too far off base, I know you brought up a story with your friend when it comes to voting and what she felt, and hopefully things change for her. Not trying to be mean, but we have to be honest and direct, especially when Jewish kids are being hurt by those who align with the Democrat Party, not with the Republicans. And those are facts. So we're going to talk facts here all the time. We're going to worry more about facts than we are about feelings. Jay says these liberal Jewish people are just out of touch. They are out of touch, and it's sad.
Yeah,
I want to give shouts out to our sponsors, our advertisers, how we can do this. We are grateful for complete auto body repair, Complete Auto Body Repair, CompleteAB.com. Once again, CompleteAB.com. 5 locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. They also have trucking and towing companies as well. And JNBC Cars, you'll find them on Facebook as well. You'll find them on social media accounts. JNBZ, they sell vehicles as well. Anything with your vehicle needs help, go to CompleteAB.com. Anything from A to Z when it comes to your car, you're going to be happy. The service that they provide, they're not going to lie to you. They're not going to nickel dime you, but you need to tell them that you heard about them on canceltheshow.com as well. Once again, CompleteAB.com. Not only do they do everything with their vehicles, they're looking for employment. They have tons of positions available. They're a company that's continuing to grow not only in the St. Louis metropolitan area, but they're growing all over the state. They have employment opportunities. If you go to CompleteAB.com, look under their employment and you'll see the jobs as well. You can also ask or reach out to Sandy Travis. She is in charge of their human resources. Tell them that you heard about them on Cancel This and that you appreciate learning about them. They'll take special care of you. They are our friends as well. We are grateful. Bendy says, I'm heading to I'm headed over to Complete Auto Body Repair in Cottleville in a bit. And Bendy, let them know that you heard about them on canceltheshow.com and you appreciate them advertising with canceltheshow.com. Also, to attorney David Gregory, the super conservative attorney, David Gregory. He is with the Injury Council, St. Louis Injury Council. If you've been in a car accident like I was, I called Dave. That's how I met Dave. Guess what? What he did for me was 3 times better than what any attorney could have done for me when I was hit. And then guess what? I used him a second time when I was hit again on the same road. Go figure. Those things happen. There's nobody better. If you, a friend, a family member has been in an accident and it was not their fault, before you sign with anybody, give Dave a call, 314-619-4230. Once again, 314-619 4230. You can also reach him, gregoryformissouri.com, gregoryformissouri.com. He's also running for Missouri State Senate. He's former state rep from the area in Sunset Hills. He's also gotten 7 people their jobs back after they were fired because they refused to get the cupcake in their arm. Remember when the COVID was around, that shot? Yeah, well, he got them their jobs back. So if you're dealing with an issue, you or your kids have been harmed or wronged in any way because of your faith or belief when it comes to politics, for being a conservative, let Dave know. If you've been harmed in any way, give him a call. Let him know about Cancel This, and he's going to waive a lot of those fees. Once again, let him know that you heard about him advertising here on canceltheshow.com. Special thanks to WeQuipUSA.com, WeQuipUSA.com. You rent items that you don't want to buy. Or you can put your own items up where other people can rent, make a little cash on the side as well. And you do it from people in your own area. There are insurance on all those items. They also rent spaces and they promote businesses as well. Very, very cool company, WeQuipUSA.com. And of course, our friends over at Winty's, one of the best places you can go to have a good time, drinks, whether you want food, burgers, wings, smoked meats, they got it. A massive patio in the Chesterfield Valley as well. And they have also just purchased Winty's Roadhouse in Defiance. That opens this weekend. All the friends and family invited out Saturday. They open officially on Sunday. Of course, you guys are listeners, are there for Saturday as well. The weather should be great. They'll be packed. Check it out. They have tons of space out there. They're starting to be such a big hit. Even Marley, the owner, was requested by KMOX Radio to do an interview yesterday. So she went on, did an interview yesterday. Word's getting out. They're packed in, and we appreciate everybody doing what they can there. So we appreciate all of our advertisers as well. Breaking news that just came down as well. Students at the University of Oklahoma yesterday filed a class action lawsuit alleging that the school violated their Equal Protection Clause rights by awarding students financial aid on the basis of race.
Wow.
So that just came out as well. We'll have to study more about that and see what's going on. This is Cancel This, canceltheshow.com. I'm Vic Faust. Megan Marie Moret in studio today for Lizzie. Lizzie will be back tomorrow. Lizzie's resting her voice, sucking on cough drops as she was yesterday as well. And Projo in the house, making sure everything looks and good, looks and sounds as good as it possibly can. Was Blinken playing back in the USSR? No, he wasn't. Keep on Rocking in a Free World is the song that he was playing. And one of these days, maybe we'll do it Friday, Wait, there, if I can find it again, Blinken has a connection to an Israeli spy that was also associated with George Soros. It'll blow your mind. Blinken is the son of a couple. And that's a teaser for you for a Friday show. Blinken is in the position he is in for a reason. Don't think for a second that he is not.
Joe, Joe's excited about that. I could see that.
Yeah, he should be, because that stuff is pretty damn interesting.
Yes.
That's for sure. When we talk a lot about what's happening with the election, we remember what happened in 2020. In 2020, if you had all kinds of comments, remember? Comments were deleted from social media.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what platform you were on. Well, now there is a media group funded by, guess who? Billionaire George Soros. They're trying to put a global plan in place to put pressure on big tech again. So big tech social media to censor more content than ever before, right before the presidential election. Are we surprised by this? No. Media Research Center, MRC as they're known, they're terrific. Well, they came out with a report Tuesday night that showed that Soros's group is trying to do this once again, spending $81 million to put pressure on all sorts of organizations to not allow free speech about the election, to not allow your voices to be heard. What happened? They described the free press, not to be confused with the Free Press media outlet, by former New York Times editor Barry Weiss, who's an activist organization disguised as journalism, operating that uses its sizable resources to push the federal government and big tech to silence conservative speech. So MRC has claimed responsibility for helping get former President Donald Trump, of course, the free press is what they're called. They were gloating about getting Donald Trump kicked off of Twitter. So now they're going back at this. Again, they're called the Free Press. And they are also bragging in a news release and a letter. This was just sent by a coalition of more than 200 civil society organizations, researchers, and journalists to the heads of big tech companies such as Google, Instagram, Discord, X, and TikTok. In it, the groups are calling for companies, this is what's going on, people, to reduce, quote, interventions necessary to keep online platforms allegedly safe and healthy. And they demanded swift action to protect democracy.
So George Soros, he gets to define what is safe and healthy.
And his groups, correct.
Oh, okay. So if people do not see right now that money is greater than our constitutional rights, people are so blind. I mean, and this guy, where does he get his money? I mean, he just bought 80 million green tents for all of the dysfunctional college students, the pro-Hamas college students. And now he's out trying to define what is safe and healthy for us to be talking about. How does this happen?
What the MRC also says, Megan, even more disturbing was this letter that was sent out, the implication that its primary target now is interfering in the 2024 U.S. election. The development is directly in line with Soros's brand, of which he has dedicated millions of his ungodly fortune, this coming from MRC, to groups looking to interfere in elections by shutting down free speech.
Yeah.
The letter made 6 demands of these big tech companies that we were just talking about. They called for investment in greater platform integrity by reinstating election integrity policies, inclusive of moderating content around the big lie. This is what they're saying, the big lie.
So all of these minions that we've seen running around the last, what has it been, 6 to 8 weeks, these pro-Hamas minions are probably the same people that he's going to get on his, his bandwagon about that the election is a lie, that the election is not real, that Donald Trump cannot win. And we have to make sure that we muzzle the conservatives. And they are going to do their darndest to get out and just disrupt people. And I hope that people can see past it. And I hope that they're not intimidated by it. I hope that all conservatives can see that that they're actually, I don't want to say harmless, because they actually are doing things that are harmful. They're ruining graduations. They're stopping traffic. They're doing horrible things. But we have got to, go toe to toe with them and make sure that they know that they might be loud, but we can be louder. And we have to show that in the voting polls. That's what we have to do. We have to show up and we have to vote and just keep doing what we're doing and being truthful. Because we're the ones that are being truthful. We're the ones that are trying to bring the, the truth to the light. But again, when you have that kind of money, it just shows what money can buy.
Well, Facebook and TikTok they've been hit with a lot of this pressure from Soros's groups. Another one is called Global Witness, spent over $20 million. Money talks.
Yes.
And if anybody's looking for buyouts and payoffs, whether it's a platform or not, the money's going to be there to stifle your free speech. And you know what that means? Stifle anything from a conservative standpoint.
Right.
You saw it happen to you before on certain platforms. I don't have to call them out. You know what has happened. And if you don't think it's going to happen again, now, Missouri's Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, is fighting against that right now. I mean, currently, what happened to make sure it doesn't happen again. But there is a lot of money at play right now, according to Media Research Center. And that's what their job is, to bring all of these kinds of issues to light, stating that Free Press and other groups are doing everything they can right now. Newsmax, by the way, has reached out to, quote, Free Press for a comment on the amount of money that they're spending, and they have refused to get back to them.
Oh, of course. I mean, of course they're not going to get back to him. And we have people like Elon Musk with a lot of money that, has come forward and took over the X platform. And, everybody knew that Elon Musk, what did he want to buy a social media platform for? Well, he wanted to do it because he saw that most liberals were owning all of the media companies. So all of the news outlets, all of the social medias, and came forward to give people on the right a voice and to not have it be canceled or censored. We need more people like him, because as long as we have the George Soroses around that have ungodly, unending amounts of money, we have to have more people come forward. One guy's not going to do it.
All I'm saying is just be ready. If you're making comments, if you're doing certain things, and if you see them get deleted, let us know. Yeah. No, let us know, because you just never know what's going to happen when you're out trying to utilize your free speech.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people dealt with this on certain platforms, and we don't have to say the names, in 2020 when the election was going on.
Yeah.
Those are problems. And I pray that there's some way that you get your free speech and you're able to say the things that you want to say. And we always say, back it with fact. But don't think for a second that there are forces that are coming against everything that you're trying to do when it comes to getting the word out, when it comes to speaking truth on all sorts of things that are going on from a political standpoint.
Well, yeah. And the shadow banning, that's a huge one. There were times where I would say something and just for fun, I would put a post up and I'd say, okay. And I'd ask like the same group of friends, did you see this? Did you see this? I want to wait and see if you see it. And they would never see it. And it would be like the same two people that would see it. And
well, we get Fado banned here.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
And David Gregory, the attorney who does it on X, everything blows up. He's like, because he has pronounced himself and announced himself as a conservative attorney.
Yeah.
That he gets Fado Chand on another platform in the biggest way. It starts with FB. And he knows it, but he's like, that's what happens.
Yeah, it's awful. It truly is.
But we also saw what happened, and this is a great point from the chat line, the People's Platform. If you jump in, I did see this before. 15% of Biden voters said they would have changed their vote to Trump if they would have known about the Hunter laptop story, but it was suppressed by social media. It was also considered to be a lie. And at one point, even by all the social media checking standpoints, to be a lie. And then we found out that it wasn't, but they suppressed it for the election as well. 15%.
Yes.
15% of the Biden voters those are millions of votes. but that's what social media can do. Most people are on social media in some platform or another, and that's where we are. So just remember what it means to suppress your comments and suppress your information when it comes to online.
Well, even when I was talking about my liberal Jewish friend, the news outlets that she chooses to watch, they suppress so much still to this day on a daily. They only give one side of the story, and 50% of that is a lie in itself. So they're not even hearing the truth. So again, Trump is still, the evil man, and Biden is just doing his best.
That's a shame.
So,
I know it's a shame to hear that people are really that uneducated.
Well,
I mean, they are that uneducated.
But it makes you wonder if they want to be that way, if they just choose to. It's easier just to kind of stay in the dark and just believe what they've always believed and not challenge themselves to step out of the box.
Let Big Brother make decisions for them.
Yes. Yeah. Bah.
It is. This is Cancel
sheep.
This. And we're going to bring those stories to you. We'll do our best, everything we possibly can when it comes to those situations. I know before we switch over into something else, because Joe looked at this. Did you guys see this? King Charles, his portrait, was that released yesterday or 2 days ago?
It was yesterday, wasn't it?
I saw it come down yesterday, but I couldn't remember if it was Tuesday or not. But anyway, I mean, there's been a lot of links, and I know it's not a conspiracy theory Friday, to evilness and, in the palace in London. I don't get this picture. This was the new portrait of King Charles.
King Charles didn't get it either.
He said that too?
No, but there's one video where you can see a close-up of him. We had it in one of our groups the other day. I was trying to find it for Joe, but when they unveiled this artwork for him, he was like, he didn't know what to do. He just kind of like smiled and was like, "Oh, wow."
But the first thing I looked at, I went, "Oh, that looks kind of evil." Literally, that was my first impression.
Yes.
I went, "It looks like satanic or
so much red."
And it was overflowing with red. I didn't understand it.
And there's a butterfly on his right shoulder.
Yes, there's a butterfly.
So anyway, Pro Joe took this picture, and then he's going to take us to class on what he saw, what he did when it comes to this portrait. So what do you think of this?
So if you mirror them and lay them side to side, this is what you get. And you can pretty much see it as
walk us through.
Well, you can see that, it forms an image of a horned creature with where the third eye should be. It looks like some sort of, cat-like being, or I don't know. Anyway, so I messed with, a little bit of the colors and everything, and some the gamma and whatnot, and it's a little bit more apparent in that.
Okay.
Yes. Well, the contrast that you
do, you know what? You do see like a beast, like with horns.
Yes.
I can see that down the middle of the portrait that you have.
And a little bit darker.
Wait a minute. What made you? Oh.
Yeah.
But there's only one portrait, right? What do you mean?
Okay, so it's the same portrait, just mirrored and laid side by side.
People are saying Baphomet.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like, doesn't it?
Glenn says it looks like Hillary Clinton. But it's interesting that you took time. Well, I'm looking at this right now.
I saw a post.
What made you want to do that?
Oh, I saw a post. Somebody posted it side by side. And then I'm like, well, I think I can enhance the photo to where it would pop a little bit more just by changing.
But why would somebody put it side by side?
I don't know. They apparently
you can see it. You can see. I mean, when
you're looking at
you can see even just one side. You're like, wow. I mean,
I see the damn beast that people talk about. I do.
Yeah.
I see it, and I don't want to see it, and I see it.
Yes, I mean it's there for sure, and I mean, it's just such an odd picture. It's his head. And then he's got a butterfly in his hands. But that was one of the first things I saw too, Joe, was I could see that half side of his of Lucifer's face.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. So you could see it with just one
Oh, for
side.
sure.
Yeah.
For our
even
listeners,
even if
pull it
you
up.
cover it.
for our listeners on the podcast that can't see what we're talking about, you would have to go to our show to check it out. I
Mhm.
apologize from that standpoint. Robert says, Isaiah, they turn everything upside down and backwards. I don't know what that means.
In Isaiah.
Someone said there was an image of a child in there somewhere.
Ooh. Really?
So we see that's the portrait.
So, and you can see the eye right here, and the horn,
eye.
the horn over here.
Oh,
you
you
can still see a half.
I guess if you stand there and you look at it,
Yeah, I mean,
you can.
and it's enough to make you want to mirror it and put it side by side.
The whole eyeball is the single image. It was like, huh? Like out in the middle of nowhere.
What is he supposed to do with that artwork?
So
Does anyone know?
So he wasn't praising this. That's what you're saying.
Well, so the video that Joe has, it's like a full shot, and so
Joe, can we see the full pages again?
Yeah, it's right here.
And he's startled when he goes to pull the curtain down.
Oh, I see. I thought it was because it came down so fast.
Well, it was, but there's a different video of him, and it just shows his face when he turns around and they ask him to look at it. They're like, what do you think of it? And he was just kind of like dazed, like I don't really know what to say. I mean, and that's what I thought was so funny about it.
You can tell he's looking at it. That's his first look at it right there. And he's like, oh, that's interesting. It's not like a wow or anything, that's like, oh.
Yeah. Beautiful.
All right.
Can't wait to hang it up above my bed.
I mean,
Camilla will love it.
This is terrible. And by the way, somebody's like, where's Kate? Where's Kate been? And we talked about her sickness, her cancer. It's interesting because there's been a lot of rumors again. And King Charles, of all people, came out and blasted media in England and family members and said, do not talk about Kate. I found it very, very bizarre. He's like, leave her alone. Nobody's going to talk about her.
Yeah.
Is it because he's such a great guy, and which would be the first time he's ever been considered to be a great guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because she's going through something, or is something else going on?
I know. I kind of got that feeling too, that maybe this was a little more serious than they let on to begin with, because even William said in the statement, I guess it was probably 2 weeks ago, that they're doing, or that she's doing as well as she can, or something like that. And I was like, wow,
there's a ton of speculation going on.
So yeah, I don't know.
And for King Charles to jump in for the first time and say, stop talking about her.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. By the way, Joe, I appreciate you putting those images. I don't appreciate you doing it, but I do. Because I started to see that and I went, ew, it gave me that eerie feeling.
Yes.
I seen it.
Because there's no way that's by chance. There's just not.
I had to show everybody.
And it's not like you're looking for evil in pictures.
No. I mean,
it's not like you're doing that.
But like I said, somebody had posted it, and it just made me want to mess with the colors and everything to see if it would, pop out, and it did.
Troy says she was jabbed. I don't know what that has to do. If that's, well, I know she got it.
Yeah.
But if that's why she has what she has, I don't know. There's no real way to really say that 100% for sure or not. But my God, that stuff just makes you go, wow, what's happening? This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Megan Marie Moret in studio, and Pro Joe. Robert said, by the way, it's Isaiah 29:15 that he referred to. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? So there you go. Dave says, don't forget, Charles is a descendant of Vladimir the Impaler. And if you don't know history, and I love history, Vladimir the Impaler was one of the most evil humans to ever walk the face of the earth. The king owns his mansion in Transylvania.
They say he's the original Dracula.
And I have heard that he's the original Dracula, and they called him the Impaler because he would impale families together. Women, kids, you name it. The stuff is just bad. Of course, Todd says we now have super cancers because of the cupcake. Plus, Kate just received an award, making sure that we're getting all the comments today from everything that's going on. It's just a bizarre situation with the royal family. And there's so much more there that I don't get. And this is why I've never been a supporter of the royal family, because I just think there's some crazy evil stuff going on there that's been around for a long time.
Yeah. And Charles, he just snubbed Harry again.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. I mean, there has got to be something. They really did wrong, him and Meghan, by saying all the things that they said about the royal family.
Before we get into a undercover video of a military naval advisor who's basically ripping DEI, not knowing he is, and telling people, updates from the Trump case this morning. If you didn't know what was already going on, and we've shown you with Judge Merchan, they know the assignment. The assignment is to get Trump convicted of something. They have to. If they don't, they fall on their face. That's why there's still no evidence, and that Bragg's case could be wrapping up today, this week at latest, and there's still no crime. No crime. No crime has been put forward. 0 crimes. Well, the judge today just came out railroading Trump's team. Trump's defense brought out text messages between Michael Cohen and the DA investigator, Jeremy Rosenberg, in which Cohen said he was, quote, going to hold Trump accountable. And Judge Merchan is blocking it.
Of course he is.
And Trump spoke before going into court, I don't know, about 45 minutes ago. Once again, his daily updates, because they are can't miss TV. You see what the judge is doing. There's still no crime. Cohen is in a really bad spot. We're going to show you another soundbite in a second after Trump of his former, this isn't Trump's former legal counsel. We're talking about the former legal counsel of Michael Cohen and what he said on Capitol Hill yesterday, which could, in any normal situation, end the case immediately. But here's Trump this morning. Matt Gaetz, noticeable behind Trump today. He has different politicians with him every day now.
I love it.
Here's Trump speaking today before going in to the kangaroo court led by Judge Merchan.
Are you worried about a conviction? Will you testify, Mr. Trump?
Thank you very much. We are going to be, we are going to be working with a lot of people over the next couple of weeks. This is finishing up. At some point it'll be finished. Every single review, every legal scholar that I've been able to read said there's no case, there's no crime. It's a disgrace that it was allowed to happen. The judge, as you know, is highly conflicted, like nobody I've ever seen is conflicted. He should not be the judge. He should not be allowed to have anything to do with this case. He should be so far away from this case. Outside, if you take a look, it looks like we're Fort Knox. There's so many police and they don't allow people to come. You know, you're allowed to have friendly protests, but we're not allowed to have anything here. They have more police and more assistant DAs and DAs. I've never seen anything like it. Over what everybody, Alan Dershowitz, everybody said there's no crime here. There's no crime. Jonathan Turley, every single person, Greg Jarrett, Andy McCarthy, look, anyone you want to name, Mark Levin, great lawyer, all of them, great lawyers, great legal scholars. Every single one said there's no crime. The crime is that they're doing this case. This was a case that wasn't going to be done, and then when I announced I was running, they brought it up. They could have done it 7 years ago. This could have been brought 7 years ago, but they wanted it right smack in the middle of election. These are very dishonest people that we're dealing with. But outside, it's like Fort Knox. You can't get within 3 blocks of this place if you're a civilian. And it's a shame what they're doing. What they're doing in terms of suppression and election interference has never been anything like that. The good news is the polls are through the roof. One just came out way up in North Carolina, way up in Georgia, way up in Nevada, way up in Arizona. Overall, way up, leading by 5, 6, 7 points. Crooked Joe Biden, most crooked president we've ever had, the worst president in the history of our country. We have a lot of congressmen and some senators down today, and they're all up in arms over this. They can't even believe it. We have quite a few congressmen. I guess you'll be talking to them in a little while. But I want to thank you very much for coming. At least we're getting the word out, but it's very unfair. I'd like to be in these various states where I should be campaigning like anybody else. This is a Biden trial. This all comes out of the White House and the Department of Justice. This is all them. In fact, a lead person from the DOJ is running the trial. So Biden's office is running this trial. This trial is a scam and it's a sham and it shouldn't happen. Thank you very much. Mr. Trump?
All right, Donald Trump, strong as always in the morning, basically saying, Judge, you're a criminal. You shouldn't even be a judge after what you have allowed. Also, not allowing evidence in court to end this really fast. And thank God he's not sitting back afraid of this judge. He's basically said, F you, F the gag order. I'm going to speak truth. I'm going to speak facts. I'm going to speak what other attorneys are saying because I'm winning this case. Regardless, at the end of the day, they've got to find him guilty of something or all of this was for naught and Trump's ratings will just go higher. If they find him guilty of something, Trump wins. If they don't find him guilty of something, Trump wins. You lose. The Democrats who want something lose. You're losers for this fake trial. If something would have actually happened and not made a mockery of our judicial system, great.
Yeah.
Of the legal system, but that's not been the case.
And I may have asked this question 100 times, but how in the world was this judge even allowed to stay on?
No, because it's New York, because it's Manhattan, because it's ultra liberal. That's why he should have recused himself.
I mean,
but they did because it was, once again, just like Donald Trump said, Megan, 7 years ago, the same case was there, but Bragg, they refused to bring it. But
why
they
now?
have, because he's running for president.
I mean,
that's why, because there was no case.
No.
Now they're forced to. I don't even think Bragg wanted to do this. I don't. I agree with everybody else. I agree. He just wants to sit back, eat his value meals every day and enjoys McDonald's. I mean, seriously, he didn't want to, and he's incompetent. He's in over his head. And they're forced to do all of these things that are going on.
Yeah, but again, they seem to be able to get away
because it's
doing all of. I mean,
because they're judge, jury, and executioner. They have this is only happening in one spot in America, and it's because it's right there in New York. Because Manhattan is one of the most evil places on the face of the earth when it comes to ultra liberal ideas, and this is why we say that. Because if you can take an innocent person and put them through this, you're evil. That's why. And something else happened yesterday. Cohen's ex-legal advisor.
Oh, yeah.
He literally spoke yesterday.
Yeah. And he finally was able to speak because Cohen released him. So there's not that,
And he was forced to.
Yeah.
Costello, who you're going to hear talk, he spoke on Capitol Hill yesterday. The defense for Trump should bring him in, but something tells me Merchan would not allow it because he is in control of everything that is evil. But then you'll have Democrats who try to say that this case is fair because they hate Trump. They don't want to listen to facts and they're not being intelligent and they're actually evil themselves if they do. And you should question their motives if they say that this is a fair trial because it's not. Listen to what Costello said at Capitol Hill yesterday about what Cohen has said. And what Cohen has done, basically calling Cohen a liar and has all kinds of initiative to go after Donald Trump. What the hell?
We have an ad that we have to sit
Dude.
through.
Oh my God. Let me know that next time, buddy.
Well, you sent it after the show started.
Gotcha. The other part that they're doing is they're making this all big news and distracting everyone from knowing what Biden is doing right now against the American people. That coming from the chat line. His testimony is absolutely damning to Cohen. There is no doubt about that.
History with Michael Cohen. Through emails and text messages, I explained the many, many lies that Michael Cohen told us. Most especially, I told them that when we first met Michael Cohen, in April of 2018. Keeping in mind now that I read Michael Cohen's testimony from yesterday's trial in New York on the way down on the train, and virtually every statement he made about me was another lie. A lie that can be proven not just by me denying it, but by myself, Jeff Citron, or Rudy Giuliani, or emails or text messages. Virtually every statement that he made. What he tries to do is he cherry picks certain emails or text messages and tries to make them look like something else. The story he told yesterday was that Rudy Giuliani and I were somehow conspiring to try and keep him quiet, to try and keep him from flipping. That's the term we use in the trade for cooperating. That's ridiculous.
Okay. If that doesn't speak volume, that's on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
This is all a farce. It's a sham, as Trump and his attorneys and legal experts across America, Republican and Democrat, have said. And that guy wasn't ever associated with Trump. He was associated with Michael Cohen. Holy shit.
Yeah.
From the chat line, could Cohen go back to jail for lying? I don't know, because he already struck a deal. Remember, I told you yesterday, in 2018, while he was in jail, he was speaking with the DOJ about going after Trump.
Yeah.
Babe, there's only, and Americans who are not educated or don't care to educate themselves have no idea. They're clueless. But we try to clue you in if you care.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that's happening, Megan.
Well, in all of his different, social media, his TikToks and everything else, he has just clearly come out and said, I'm going to go after Trump. I'm going to, I'm going to make sure that, that he's found guilty. And it's all because he's butthurt because Trump, called him out and made him look like a liar, which he is. And I don't understand how many more people can prove that this guy is a perjurer, he's a liar, and he doesn't stop. He has no shame at all. He just keeps lying and lying and lying. And so for the court to even have him come up as a witness is a complete joke to me, as if he's going to tell the truth. It just makes no sense at all. And now you've got someone that worked extremely closely with him and had, the confidentiality with him, and now he doesn't have to anymore. And he's coming out and he's saying, he has told me point blank, I have nothing on Trump. Nothing.
We have shown this day after day, though, month after month, and nothing's happening to Cohen right now. Could something happen down the road? Possibly, but he's protected by the DOJ in so many ways, even if he lies on the stand, because this is what America's become. We are not a free country anymore. We're not in certain areas. In Manhattan, you're not. And I'm sorry if you're left or you're a Democrat and you're associated with this evil stuff, that's between you and God and yourself. And I would not want to be in your shoes. But what is happening is pure evil, and it's wrong, and it's illegal what is happening. But they're controlling everything they possibly can.
It is illegal. And that's what I'm saying. How can this happen? How can they weaponize our judicial system so badly? And it is. I mean, exactly what you said. All of these things that they're doing, it's illegal, and yet it's happening. And we just sit by and we just watch the show.
Because when you have an ultra liberal governor, an ultra liberal attorney general, an ultra liberal Manhattan court, an ultra liberal judge, an ultra liberal jury, and they all hate Trump, and they're all getting paid, and they're all on the payroll, they are going to control and do everything they possibly can. This would not happen in Missouri.
No.
It would not happen in any other state, but it's happening because of Manhattan.
Gosh, what a shame.
From the chat line, Cohen will be Epstein. Just wait and see. Or whisked off to live in Iceland, somewhere else after what has happened. Trey says, just wait till you see this debate. I don't even know what you're talking. I don't want to talk about the debate. It's terrible. Don't get me. That's how we started the show. The worst thing in the world that can happen is a debate. I don't even know what you're talking about. They've been working on this for years to, quote, rule we the people. Of course they have. And this has been going on since 2018. That's when they started. All of this stuff is planned. We cannot let Donald Trump come in and ruin the deep state plan again. It cannot happen. Connie says, the day of the first debate, Trump needs to lose his voice, like Lizzie did. That would be funny. Then have Vivek stand by him and turn cue cards, like in the NXS video on MTV in the 80s.
Oh my God.
Each card should state facts like Biden got 13 of our military men and women killed in Afghanistan. Biden took showers with his daughter, Ashley, which has been proven to be a fact. And if you don't believe us, ask her and Snopes.com. Biden pimped out his drug-addicted son to Ukraine and China and so on. Lizzie says, winning. Yeah. Trump is winning. They've been setting the conditions for collapse of this country. And we're not losing our minds. We're not the conspiracy theorists. People will say, oh, you guys are crazy, because everybody just wants to be in their happy little world. They don't want to think about anything bad that could happen. And if you bring it up, and if you bring it up in a certain environment of people, oh, just relax, enjoy life. Don't get caught up in politics. Let's not. And you know what I'm talking about. Those people.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
you need to get caught up in it.
Very much so. I mean, we have an election coming up in November that could really determine the way in which our country goes for a very, very long time. The deep state and the Democrats are doing whatever they can to make sure that we become, I say communist, but the most socialistic, just liberal, I don't even know the word for it, but they are doing their darndest to make sure that we go in that direction. And this is a very, very serious time where people have to really put their pride out of their way and see the truth for the truth.
And we see it happen, and it started with our military. I wanted to play some of this. A top U.S. Navy advisor didn't realize that he was telling an undercover reporter all about DEI, which I despise. And I'm glad to see it going away in colleges across the country, because I see how it divides people, and it gives certain groups this feeling of entitlement and a hate in their heart when they didn't have it before, to start hating others and to start looking around and look, yeah. And it's that mob mentality. Well, this guy with the U.S. Navy, he's an advisor. And he's got a role with DEI within the military. Here he is explaining what's happening to our military and what people really think, and how China plays into a lot of things as well.
Like a journalist, right? 70% of my job is advising. I advise to the top 3 in the Navy on equal opportunity, diversity, equity, inclusion. New Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Lisa Franchetti.
What's her deal? What's her deal?
She just really, she believes in diversity, equity, inclusion, and equal opportunity. She's the first woman joint chief of staff. If Trump's the president, then there is no more DEI. It goes away. He said he's going to shut down the office at the Pentagon. It'll go away. So that would change things. If we have a Republican in office, it will bolster our military. If we have a Democrat, it'll continue to just be the make do with what you have, slap things together, put duct tape on it, that kind of stuff. Core training, that kind of thing. And I'm a Democrat. So, I just, from a strictly military standpoint, Republicans are always better for military.
I was going to say, I was thinking, if Trump gets in and, your job would be at risk already.
My job will still exist. It's just, like I was telling you, DEI I wouldn't be able to come out and say, I'm a DEI practitioner. Like now I can say.
What would you say?
I would just say I'm an equal opportunity advisor.
Right.
And climate specialist. And I would just, like I told you, I'd skirt around DEI. Well, if we're looking at the diversity and the equity, the diverse force of the Navy, and how we're all, and where we are as far as equality, and are these people that are diverse, are they included on the decision making? You would have to be a player.
Do you get a hard time about it at work at all?
About diversity, equity, inclusion? Yeah, of course. I think it's a waste of time. So my boss, the Lisa, Admiral, she doesn't think it is. She likes it. But secretly everybody else is like, what's going to happen when the first missile hits the first side of the first DEG? What's it going to matter? There won't, diversity, equity, inclusion will just be out the window. There's no worry about Israel and all that stuff.
There's not? What is the worry?
China. All we ever talk about is, none of this is going to matter when China invades Taiwan. That's the buzzword.
I've been hearing that. I mean, that's been there's been discussions of that happening, right?
Yeah. Our biggest foe right now is China. That's our worry. Nobody else. We don't worry about Israel and Gaza. We're like, okay, they can figure this out themselves. We'll, Ukraine, Russia, whatever.
China. What's that going to look like?
Not good.
Is it cybersecurity? Is it economic? Is like they're stealing our information? Is it them?
So it's like everything, really. I mean, like, think about it. Like, if we went to war with China, it would escalate into a world war. We may end up speaking Chinese. I mean, let's be honest.
So what happens if Trump comes in and it goes away?
Equal opportunity will never go away. It'll just shift from me talking about diversity, equity, inclusion to equal opportunity based on the culture of excellence and how we work. How do we create a diverse force that's equal and inclusive of everything? So I don't come out and say, yeah, DEI. I have to change all my verbiage to make it sound good.
Do you think he has a chance to actually win?
I think he will win. I think he's going to win, hands down. Unless something happens.
Like what?
Like he goes to jail, something like that. Or somebody kills him. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's kind of the only way people don't have a lot of faith in Biden. I mean, he's really old. Two, he's,
How about that? This guy, I wonder if Thomas Riggs, is that his name? Has a job still.
I know.
He's literally the advisor for equal opportunity and DEI, and he just says it's no good.
Yeah, I know.
That it doesn't make sense. And I'm grateful that we get information and there's undercover journalists who go and do this. I can only imagine how many more people try to, but can't make any leeway. China, very concerned about, don't care about anything else because of what's happening. These are some very big concerns. DEI, not a very big concern.
No, and the last place that we need to worry about DEI is in our military. We need our military to protect us. We need a Republican leader that is patriotic, that says we're gonna worry about America first. We're gonna worry about our citizens first. And you want to recruit people that want to protect our country and want to do it for the right reasons. Do you think that these guys, you look at a leader like Joe Biden and he has one eye open half the time because he's napping and, is worried about protecting everyone else, every other country, worried about protecting illegal aliens in our country before he worries about us. I mean, if I was a young man and I was graduating, I would not want to go into a military where all of the commercials that were trying to recruit me were talking about, I have two moms, I like men, or I like women. Who cares about your sexuality? Who cares about how many moms you have or how many dads you have, or if you are having, gender dysmorphia or whatever? There's no place for that. There just isn't. Get in there, protect our country, and do what's right, and quit trying to recruit people for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, the fact again, DEI has no place in the military. He even works for DEI and just said it doesn't work. It's destroying the military. We don't care about it. We don't need it.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these things.
Recruitment is at an all-time low, and I understand it. I get it. I mean, if you don't have someone that is, constantly holding up the stars and stripes as they should, you're not going to be excited about going in and possibly losing your life defending a bozo, like I said, that can't even keep his eyes open.
The other thing with that whole situation, he's like, when China invades Taiwan. So it's not a question of if, it's now a question of when. Are we involved some way from that standpoint? And legitimately talking about Americans speaking Chinese at some point. I mean, now sometimes people like that. If you're going to talk, obviously like to hear yourself talk because he's talking. Obviously, the loose lip sync ships concept there, he doesn't get it. But he's a DEI guy. And you have to be brought that to show what is. I mean, I hope people realize what's going on. But my God, this is how bad things have gotten.
Yeah, it's
with
really
the military
bad.
and trying to bring information to you. Especially, I mean, we all know it. The military, DEI has no place anywhere. Didn't earn it is what it stands for. And then on top of it, to have it take precedent in our military, the place where we're trying to defend our country.
No,
It's like,
you can't.
what?
No, you have to be there for the right reasons, not because you're a certain skin color, not because you're a certain, sexuality. None of that matters when it comes to protecting our country. It just doesn't. No.
We talk, and Robert from the chat line, if China takes Taiwan, there's major issues for American manufacturing electronics. Yes, we've talked about chips and a massive chip. We're trying to build a massive chip facility in the United States now, because one of the biggest ones that we relied on in the world was in Taiwan.
Right.
So we were trying, but not sure if we have time to take care of it, to get everything done as we're trying to. Also, from that standpoint, when we talk about money, when we talk about, Americans being involved in some sort of bad situation, the Dow hit 40,000 for the first time this morning. If you're a Democrat, you go, wow, this is amazing. But is it a good thing? Is it good that we're hitting 40,000 while inflation is sky high? It doesn't, these things don't make sense when you're talking about, quote, the economy being at a good place.
Yeah.
I'm curious if anybody else has perspective when it comes to financial issues, when it comes to, gee, this is a good thing or not.
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Because as I told yesterday, I don't have a degree in finance or money, but I do know if you go back and look over the last 20 years, every time that we've had a massive Wall Street shakeup or fall down, it's been immediately after the market raced to its highest point ever.
Yeah. Well, and
it was followed immediately. Bow.
I think something's right around the corner, though. I think something big
From the chat line. 40,000 Dow makes sense. It's an inflation number, and that's why I brought up inflation. Because of inflation, it skyrockets that. So don't get caught up. Oh, the Dow is doing great. Joe Biden's bringing all of our economy to record highs. No, he's not. That is not. But you're going to hear that promoted by people who don't know finance, who don't know numbers, and they're going to try to portray that to you as if something good is happening with the Biden administration. It doesn't make sense, and it hasn't the last 3 years, or since Biden took office. It's also been somewhat held up by advances in AI tech, that according to Abe on the chat line as well.
Well, and Joe Biden could have a press conference this afternoon, and he could come on and he could be like, oh my gosh, I have great news. The stock market crashed, but I planned it. This is all, part of my plan. It's all part of Bidenomics, and it has gone exactly the way I planned. And the liberals will be clapping. They'll be like, oh, okay, well, he was supposed to do it. Very well done.
Lizzie doesn't have a voice on the show today. She's resting at home, but she says the big drop is still coming. I could not agree anymore. Greg says the Black Swan event is coming, just like the virus 19, to put the market in check. Gary says my son is kicking ass in the market lately, and there are some people who are doing that.
Well, yeah, and if that's when when things are bad and people are scared and backing out, if you dive in and you get things while they're low, you're gonna do really well. So it just depends on how you play, but as a whole, I see something coming soon.
And that's we just try to do what we can here to produce truth, to bring facts, to talk about the issues that really do affect your life and everything else that's going on. And we appreciate you joining us every day. We appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Once again, please check out our advertisers, our sponsors, CompleteAB.com, Complete Auto Body Repair, 5 locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. If you've been hit in a car accident, and it wasn't your fault, and you're hurt in some way, your car messed up, before you go with anybody, call Dave Gregory, 314-619-4230. I know because I went to him. Former state rep, now running for state Senate in Missouri, the St. Louis Injury Council. You can also check him out at Missouri or GregoryForMissouri.com. Literally, you're not going to hurt yourself by calling and say that you're from Cancel This, and he'll waive most of the fees. That's right. You're going to get a huge break with the fees as well. That's his support for the show and us advertising for him. So we are grateful for all the support. Check out our partners and our partners page. We have a donation button and page as well. We appreciate donations of any kind. Anything helps. us pay our bills and continue our free speech. So we're grateful for you guys jumping in. As always, Robert says, thanks, Vic, and Triple M, or not 3M. We couldn't call you 3M.
M3.
M3.
Mhm.
You've heard of
M
3,
to the
yeah?
third.
We'll be M3 in the
Triple
house.
threat.
Pro Joe here as well. Lizzie back tomorrow for our Free for All Friday show. Eric Johnson in studio. Kelly Mano. We'll have a full house coming up for tomorrow. So we appreciate everybody jumping in again today. So
Lizzie, I don't know how you don't fall asleep sitting in this cozy chair.
I'm glad you find it
Oh
cozy.
my goodness. I could just sit like this all day.
Thank you guys. This is cancelthisshow.com. That does it for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. It goes fast, doesn't it?
Sure does.
2 hours every day. That's what we try to do. Thank you guys for your compliments. We'll come back tomorrow for that show. Like, subscribe, share the show. Have an awesome Thursday for May 16th. We'll see you next time.